Hi everyone, we're back again with example 2 here. So for example 2, we're supposed to use this table. It's in the book. It represents when we have a positive square root, when it's written just like this. So like the square root of 16 up here, the answer is 4. When it's got a negative out front, we're supposed to write the negative square root, represents the negative square root. And then we have plus and minus in front of it, we write both square roots. So for a down here, we want the positive square root of 25, which means we would just write, we would actually look at our chart over here, see if it's a perfect square, and it is. So we know that this number times itself, 5 times 5 equals 25. So the square root of 25 is then 5, the positive square root. Okay? And then for b, we have negative. Actually, I'm going to write that a little bit bigger. That's not all that great. We have negative 9 over 16, negative 9/16. So that means we want the negative square root of this. I know that fraction looks a little intimidating, but just treat each individual component here, the denominator and the numerator, treat them just like you would any other square root. So we would write it as a fraction again. The answer is going to be written as a fraction, and then we'll do the top. So is 9 a perfect square? We'll check our numbers over here. It is. 3 times 3. So the top we would treat like we would this 25 up here. We would just do the 3. We would find the square root of 9 and write 3 there. And then we do the bottom. We do the denominator. So we do the square root of 16. We need to figure out what number times itself would equal 16, which is 4. So our answer for this one is simply negative 3/4. And then we have to do C. C is plus or minus the square root of 2.25. So that means we need to write both the positive and negative answer for the square root of 2.25. Since 2.25 isn't a perfect square up here in our with our whole numbers, we need to make an educated guess on what number you can multiply by itself to get this. So let's check out our perfect squares up here. We do 2 times 2, that's 4. And then we have 1 times 1 is 1. So we know what's in between these two. Knowing that, we realize that it has to be a number in between 1 and 2. So we could start off by trying 1.5. We could do, let's see if 1.1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. Use your calculator. Calculate it. Let me see. 1.5 times 1.5. Oh, 2.25. Perfect. First guess. We got it. Awesome. Good job, guys. We're rock stars, aren't we? Alright. So the answer is plus and minus, so positive and negative 1.5. If this example makes sense, then move on to the on your owns. Otherwise, check out that table in your book, this one that I drew. It might be easier to read it within the book. Yeah. Otherwise, just move on. And awesome.